Coronavirus, or COVID-19 as some call it. Easily the worst global pandemic since the outbreak of the Spanish flu in 1918. One of the most contagious diseases known to man and potentially deadly, especially to the weak, immune-compromised, or the elderly. But anyone can be affected, and it is near impossible to avoid the virus entirely. National leaders have gotten it, or those surrounding them have gotten it. And the economic consequences of the coronavirus pandemic, they've been devastating, with some saying this may be as bad as the Great Depression. Okay, we all know it is bad. It is really bad. But did this thing just sprout up out of nowhere? Everyone knows that it seems to have started in Wuhan, China. But after that, many say that it came from a bat, perhaps one that was connected in some way with a market in Wuhan.
The structure where I am, where I've placed myself, it reminds me a lot of the marketplace that I have back home, or the market house that I have back home in North Carolina. It sort of looks like a bridge here, multiple entrances from each side. There's a circular interior that you can see from the exterior here, and there are stairs, areas that have roof coverings, and some are open. So it's like there's a top, and then there's some spaces that are empty. I can look up and see the sky, or I can look up and see a covering of some sort.
We have also heard that perhaps this virus burst into the human realm due to an accident in a Chinese lab in Wuhan that was studying such bat-originating viruses.
It's got a lot of energy, and it's hot. And it's really, really hot, and it gets to a point where it just blows up. And it's just this huge explosion that just sort of blows up this way, and it's really, really forceful.
We have heard so many stories and so many claims that appear to be conflicting. It has gotten to the point that I don't know what to believe based on what people are saying. So many people seem to be protecting special interests or attacking favorite enemies. It's all a mess from a news media point of view, and the scientific side of things isn't much better. And when such conflicting confusion happens, the only thing that I personally trust is what we discover using our own remote viewing methods and our own remote viewers. Raw data that no one else can contaminate or bias.
The event that's happening in the surface structure and the subject in the non-surface structure have a connection, but he is not the reason for it. It seems as though this benefits this person under certain conditions only.
The Huanan seafood market, a live animal and seafood market, is widely considered to be the source of the initial spread of the coronavirus, and this matches with part of Princess's data. So the market does seem to be part of the story.
She needs this, and she needs it for some sort of work. She needs this for some sort of research stuff that we looked at earlier, which apparently ends up not going the best. But he's a part of that. He's a part of whatever work she's doing, and she's a manager of sorts for it.
I'm hearing like electric sounds, like when a wire touched water and it just sparked and just tick, like it had that tic-tac sound. It's not safe to be around here, so the subjects that left had the right to leave and escape.
God, it's just like, I have the worst anxiety, mental clarity. It feels like I'm just witnessing some sort of like experimental thing.
But I'm also noticing that I'm sensing the feeling of pain and calmness, but still pain. They're quiet, they're really focused on something. It's really hard to breathe.
But the crackling sound, the tic-tac, that crack sound comes from this box that was on the wall near the room. So something with that was being touched. There is some box against this wall that randomly exploded.
Before the transmission of the virus at the market occurred, our data indicate that there was a laboratory or hospital setting and an accident occurred in the laboratory or hospital, and that accident precipitated the spread of the coronavirus.
They're sitting there, like, overthinking. At first, there's loud chaos and shouting and energetics and cloud dynamics and serious movement and, like, craziness in the air, running, screaming, shouting, boom sounds, subjects moving in all directions, and then chest pain, and then hard to breathe, and
not all the way human. These two subjects are doing something related to what caused the big disaster inside the structure. There is some sense of their energy that is causing what's going on inside that structure. Going into their minds, they are planning something that is happening right now, like they're focused on what's happening right now. And it's some force change to that. So they're already up to what's going on. This was like a setup.
They're sort of hiding out there in the darkness, and this guy is right there, and this one proceeds to shoot and blow out the back, like the very back end of this structure. Just shoots something from the darkness, and this structure just takes a hit in the back. So
he seems like he's inside of a structure. He feels like pure, like, negative energy, okay? He feels like he's evil and sadistic. He makes me, like, sick, you know, like, disgusted by him. Instantly, he feels alien. He makes me very uncomfortable. I don't want to probe him anymore.
It is unlikely that the explosion and the release of the virus would have come from the Wuhan Institute of Virology itself, since those buildings are across town from the Huanan Seafood Market, separated by a river.
There's something involving, it's like a biological genetic sense of something being defective. And I believe by it being defective, it can cause harm. But in its proper state, it could also be beneficial. His mind gives me a headache. Like
sneaking up from the shadows, wanting to stay very incognito, yet this is this is a very much an attacking vibration, very much like we are on the offensive. This is very much a get 'em type of thing, but very calm and quiet and like suppressed, so that it's not to be noticed. It's very much of an intention to be silent, an intention to be on the incognito side of things.
I hear glass break. Everyone freaks out. Everyone's freaking out. Everyone's concerned, disoriented. They're discombobulated, frustrated, aggressive. They're almost angry, very angry emotions. I hear loud, aggressive voices, and there's a huge commotion that results from the breaking of glass.
I'm continuing to notice the same tan skin tone colored subjects, the subjects that are really strong and muscular. I'm also sensing them still continuously being underground. There's multiple subjects and male subjects. These subjects are still army-like and continue to give me the feeling of military or organization and structure and something underground, like a structure underground. I'm sensing some form of military or leadership.
Now let's talk about the non-surface structure that so many of the viewers perceived. As I have said in the past, I am certain that the galaxy is watching what happens on Earth closely. The coronavirus pandemic is affecting the planet in such a fundamental manner that it is impossible for me to think that the extraterrestrials are not watching every aspect of this pandemic closely, from beginning to end.
Outside, moving, that I see past, it almost looks like a bowl. It almost looks like a giant bowl with chopsticks coming out of the top. I don't know. I obviously eat too much sushi. That's what it looks like to me. There are subjects inside the non-surface structure, focusing on one subject. I can't slow his mind down. His mind is so fast, like he does not want me here. It feels like they are hiding. He does not want me in his mind, like at all.
Make no mistake about it. This coronavirus pandemic is a planet-changing event. It has woken everyone up to the understanding that we are all in this together on this planet. We are not separated cultures and nations. We are all humans living together as one large group on a planet known as Earth. If there is an upside to this pandemic, this is it. We are finally realizing that there really is not much that divides any of us. It is a hard lesson to learn, but it is an important lesson. Let's hope we remember it after the pandemic is resolved.